Hey everybody, it's still December 10th, 2021. It is 6 p.m. and it is time for prayer list prayers. Alexa, cancel. Got a cup of tea going on here. Lemon and ginger, or lemon zinger. I think it's got ginger in it. Yay. We pray for our leaders in government. There we go. A little bit back and boom. It's perfect. All right. We pray for our leaders in government, our President Joe Biden, our Vice President Kamala Harris, all members of Congress. We pray for our Governor Gavin Newsom. In San Mateo County, we pray for all police, fire, and emergency personnel. In South San Francisco, we pray for our mayor, Mark Diego. In the South San Francisco City Council, we pray for the San Mateo County Human Services Agency and the San Mateo County Department of Housing. We pray for all county workers. In San Francisco, we pray for Mayor London Breed and all members of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. We pray for all those suffering through homelessness at the present time. We pray for all victims of COVID-19 and COVID-19 long hauler syndrome. We pray for abode services and life moves, both of which help homeless people find housing, get into housing. Not only find, but get into it and get set up. Awesome. We also pray for clergy suffering with addiction and chemical dependency. We pray for all ministries inside and outside of the church, all clergy, religious, and lay alike. Especially our Holy Father, Pope Francis, Pope Benedict, Bishop Mark Handley Andrus, Archbishop Salvatore Corleone here in San Francisco, in the Archdiocese of San Francisco. St. Gregory's Abbey, Three Rivers, Michigan. Hospitality House in San Bruno, Sea Episcopal Church in South San Francisco and San Bruno, and their new vicar as of Christmas Eve, the Reverend David Grant Smith. Blessings to you, David. Very excited to have you from Los Angeles. We pray for Hospitality House in San Bruno. Did I already say that? See Episcopal? I already did. Yes. Diocese of California and the Archdiocese of San Francisco. We pray for those dioceses. The Reverend Patrick Driscoll. Reverend Patrick Driscoll. You know, the little pedantry there is that Catholic priests generally like to go by the Reverend so and so, not like to their feet. You call them Father, but title Reverend. Whereas like the Episcopal Church, it's more common to say the Reverend, and probably in other Protestant denominations as well. Patrick, praying for you. He's right down the street here, over at St. Veronica's Catholic Church here in South San Francisco, which we also pray for as well. The Reverend Deborah Hawkins, retired. Out there in Davis, I believe she lives now. Bishop Louis Gelano, who is 93 years old. I got to keep checking on him because, time's running out there. I mean, I think, anyway. I mean, you know what I mean? 93, even if you live another 10 years, you know what I mean? You don't know. But he was the bishop back in Rhode Island, back when I lived there. Well, actually, yeah, when I was very young back there. He had retired by the time I was probably in high school, I think. But he's still living, he's still doing his thing out there. So blessings on you, Louis. St. Bruno's Catholic Church in San Bruno, which is the home of Hospitality House San Bruno. Excuse me. I pray for members of my family, my father Alex and my mother Cheryl. Kara Masick, Erwin Rossmeyer, my brothers Joshua, Jesse, Ben, and Max. Mark, Jesse, and Diane Darling. Excuse me. I forgot to add Bob Dole to the memorials because he just passed away on the 5th. I cannot believe the amount of energy I have today. It's really weird. Occasionally I get a day like this where I've got boom. I might take advantage of this tonight because I'm feeling a little bit tired. I did have to nap today. I may have a cup of coffee after this, or 2, or even 3 maybe if I need to, and do the laundry because I need to do the laundry. All right. Let's see. 12. What is it? 10. 21. Bob Dole. Date of death, because I like to remember those things. 12. 5. 21. All right. As I said, Mark, Jesse, and Diane Darling. Bob Ottaviano. I miss you, Bob. Anna and Fietta Crumby. Anna, I hope you're doing all right. And Jocelyn Gerard. And Jocelyn, I haven't talked to you in forever. I hope you're okay, and I hope you're going to have a very Merry Christmas. I hope all of you are going to have a very Merry Christmas. But I know I know for some of you that is not going to be the case. But I hope nonetheless, you know what I mean? I always have difficult times during Christmas. I mean, I do. It's always redeeming and it's okay. You know what I mean? But there's always some shit around Christmas. Last year, on Christmas Day, and I had no idea this was going to happen. I had a normal Christmas Eve. I did the Christmas Eve service and everything like that. And the next day, I was in the city doing speed. Actually, that night into Christmas Day. That's what I was doing on Christmas Day, is getting high in a hotel room with some guys. And then I came back here and I did a vigil. I did a vigil. And the Lord took care of me and we ate well. I spent about, I don't know what it was. But it was several hours in front of that couch in front of the crucifix. I set up the crucifix and Blessed Virgin Mary. I think it may have just been the crucifix that's in my bedroom. And I did a prayer vigil. But it was, you know what I mean? I didn't have a bad time getting high in the city either, but you know, it's just not the way I wanted to spend Christmas time. You know what I mean? Um, but it was, you know what I mean? Like, it's weird. So the Lord gives me little things like that happen. You know what I mean? And I don't know what's gonna happen. I hope not. Here's the thing. And people that don't have this going on, or people don't have the experience that I do, don't realize. They go, well, just don't. You know, if you were drinking last Christmas Eve, don't drink. And it's like, no, 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 no. It's not about that at all. It is not. Like, in fact, I could lay down the law and say, yeah, I'm not going to drink. But if the Lord wants me to drink at Christmas Eve, that's what's happening. And I know some of you are going to go, that's just shirking responsibility. But I'm telling you right now, it's not. If you look around my life, okay, if you look at my ministry and you think that I'm a person that shirks responsibility, you're crazy. You know, what I'm telling you is true. You know what I mean? I'm not someone that gives up. I mean, I got the nicotine patch on, right? I try. All right. So, you know, just take my word for it on that. I'm telling you the truth. So anyway, though, so what I'm trying to say, though, is for those members of my family or those of you out there that are, you know, you're not going to have a Merry Christmas and you don't want me to give you trite well wishes that are like, oh, just even though I know you're going to have a shitty holiday or something like that, is I hope something redeeming in it happens for you. And that you get, you know what I mean? And that in the midst of it, something, whether it be a good meal in the middle of it that you really enjoyed, or just anything, whatever it is, I hope you get it. So I pray for members of my extended human family. Junior Irwin. I haven't talked to Junior in a very long time. And I don't know Junior all that well, honestly. Stuart Packman, Eric Mosnes, who I know, I don't know, how well do we know each other, Eric? All I know is Eric is one of my favorite people, and I love you to death, Eric. And I saw Eric on the 22nd, and I hadn't seen him in a long time, and it was great. It's always good to see him. I made him two grilled cheeses while he was here, and some carrots, because that's all I had for vegetables, and I peeled the carrots even, you know what I mean, just to make it nice for him as much as I could at the time. So I love you, Eric, very much. Very much. Stuart Packman. Eric, whoops, I already said that. I'm backing up here. Stuart Packman, I love you too, bud. I love everybody on this list. But, you know, we have the people that we love, and then we have people that we, you know what I mean? Let's face it. I mean, like, I love Bob Dole, you know, because he's part of the human family, but I don't know Bob Dole. And then we have people like I love, but, like, I don't really know you that well. Junior Irwin. And then you have people that are like you have great, like, a little bit more personal affection for them, and that's where Eric stands with me. Eric and Coulter, who I don't know all that well. I don't know Coulter Myers all that well. It's very strange the way the Lord works with affection. Michael Nold, Keegan Forbes, Coulter and Rhiannon, Richard Simmons, Jim White, Andrew Marmelstein, Dave Maloney, Keith Watley, Jimmy Harder. Jimmy I have affection for, but Jimmy, ooh, I could punch him at the same time, in a way. You know what I mean? He's made me want to punch him before. I've never done it, because I mean, you know what I mean? I'm not a violent guy, but you know what I mean when I say you want to punch someone. If you've never, in fact, if you don't, then you haven't lived. Then you've lived under a rock if you've never wanted to punch somebody before. But Jimmy and I, you know, I was thinking about it the other day. Jimmy and I, we did have good, you know, when you're on the street, let me put it this way. When you're on the street, you know, you make some friends that maybe you wouldn't have otherwise. And that doesn't make them less of a friend. You know what I mean? It's just that, oh, okay, this is, it's more of a friends of opportunity sort of thing. Not meaning that you just use each other for something, and I don't mean that necessarily, even though it was that too. You know what I mean? I mean, our relationship was definitely a relationship of convenience for needs on the street and stuff like that. but also we had good times. Like we've, you know what I mean? Like laughed and enjoyed. I can only speak for myself, but there are moments I truly enjoyed his company. Absolutely. But we're very different people. But anyway, and I love Jimmy. So that's, he's on this list too. Michael Zorns, Tony Vucetic, Aaron Rodgers, Ruben Padilla, Travis Carpenter, Kurt Berry, Larry Burdick, Janine and Mike Jones, TJ Ostomsky, Drunk Phil, who I've not seen in a long time. I hope he's still alive. I don't go out that much, though, especially these days with the COVID-19 long haulers. I hope he's still kicking out there. June, Ann and Sam. Ann, I saw your Christmas decorations out there. It's good to see your Christmas spirit on the porch. It's Christmas. I don't have any Christmas. I haven't been able to do that this year. In fact, I should have. You know what? I should have got a damn few things from the dollar store. Maybe I will do that tomorrow if I have some energy. Next time I get some energy again, I'll grab a couple things from the dollar store and put up. I want to have I wanted to have a tree this year so bad. Next year, the Lord willing. Because that would make me so, you know what I mean? The Lord, you all know what I mean, because we all know Christmas tree, and the Lord knows what I mean, and I hope the next year is going to be the year for that. Maybe maybe I'll just get a Christmas tree late. I don't know. I don't even know when they stopped selling them. I know that they're expensive. I remember when I was a kid, you could get those little like tabletop trees for like $25. You can't even do that anymore. I went into Walgreens the other day. I mean, you can find them, but like, they're not $25 anymore. I can tell you that much. I went into Walgreens the other day, and I was looking for one. I thought, well, let me check and see if they've got at least that. Not even a tree in there. I mean, they got everything else, but no, I mean, really? Nobody wants to buy a tabletop Christmas tree at Walgreens? Really? Like, I mean, that seems to me kind of hard to believe, but c'est la vie. Lou and Gina Leach. Peter Steeler. I love you, Peter. I was talking to Peter earlier. I got him to want to read Primary Colors. It's a good book. Daniel Hudson, Clifton Barrett, Roland Barber Laborde, Mike Smith, I haven't seen him in a while, Margie Burke and her family, Kyle Andrew Schofield, Laura and Lydia, Jason Hayes, DJ Jason Hayes, now in Seattle, Jack and Rahmet and their family, Gino, Charles Ratcliffe, Chris Reinhardt, Dustin Keast, Aaron Rodgers and Dustin Keast, Norma Leedkey, Matthew Russian, Tyler Davis, Daniel Fonseca, Michael and Corey, Ryan, Dean Barchetto, Pat Ford, Tina, my neighbor from down below, downstairs, Keith, my neighbor from over there, at the end of the hall, lower, second floor. All right, Alexander, Matthew Mustashkin, Kevin Johansson, the Republicano family, Tyler Jordan Lowe, Tyler Smith, Charles and Kim Plyler and their family, Marty, as he's known, was my RDC when I was in boot camp in the Navy. Great guy. He likes to cook, too, which is pretty cool by me, Anita, David, Michael and his mother, Al, Cheeseburger, Kenny, Kendrick Rojas, Kendrick, Dylan, Charlene Myers, that's Coulter's mom, Jeffrey Marmelstein, that's Andrew's dad, Steve Buiza, the Pacific Family Medicine Clinic staff, that's my doctor's office, Beth Lewis, that's my piano teacher, one of them, Ken McCune, old San Francisco friend, now in Vegas. Bob Katz, an incredible mastering engineer who suffers from sciatica. And I had sciatica when I was homeless. I hurt my back riding a kick scooter, and I threw a disc out, and I mean, it was the most probably excruciating physical pain I've ever felt in my life so far, and I hope, you know what I mean? You hope, but you probably know that's probably not going to be the case because, like, we see people die excruciating deaths from old age all the time, But I mean, but I hope that's as bad as it gets because that was pretty bad. Anyway, so Bob has that, and he actually posted on Facebook. I was asking about getting a what do they call those? Those tables that you hang up. You know what I mean? I'm not so sold on those entirely because it seems like it would. You know what I mean? Like when my back was hurting, like when I had that, I thought like the idea of it, thought that would be perfect. But I don't really know if that's what your back needs necessarily. I think it's more go to a chiropractor, a good chiropractor because they're not all the same. But you got to do. I say you got to do the exercises. I've never done the home exercises, honestly. It probably does help because I'm sure they know what they're talking about when they tell you to do them. But I find the chiropractor. What it really does, though, chiropractic. I'm going to be honest with you. I think this time I'm glad I had the chiropractor available. Believe you me. And they do some adjustments and stuff like that. But I think that that's mostly feel-good stuff. You know what I mean? Just a sort of like placebo. It does, you know what I mean? It is good to kind of stretch you out and stuff like that. But time healed it on itself. And he did tell me that, by the way. He wasn't trying to lie about it. But, we need those comfort things to go through it. I mean, seriously. To be sitting at home in pain with your back all messed up and not doing anything about it is like, you know what I mean? It's going to probably make you more miserable. So, like, go to chiropractor. It's good. All right? Bob Katz, I said I would pray for you, and you probably took it with a grain of salt, as you should, because when people say that, it's like, but here I am, still praying for you. And I don't know what that does, but I do know that there's a God, and I know there's a God that listens, and I know there's a God that cares that I pray. Because he allows me to do it and makes me do it every day. And so that's probably not for nothing. Jen and Jesse, Steve Manini, Larry Lawton, Gabby Giffords, Jeff Henkel, Mark Zuckerberg and his family, John, Bill O'Reilly, Christopher Henning, Scott Akers, Debbie, over at the Hospitality House shelter over here. That's cool that she's there. I'm so happy that you got in there, Debbie. That's awesome. George Jetson, Lil Kim, Gustavo Caldas, John Shuck, Greg Flowers, adding right now. I saw him on the bus today. 2010, 21. Greg Flowers. All right. We also pray for those that have passed on from this life, inside and outside the faith and fear of the Lord, especially the holy souls in purgatory and the church triumphant, as well as the repose of the souls of Howard Connolly, Christine Baker, the Reverend and Mrs. Fred and Cheryl Merrick, Nick Lee, Mickey McGee, Keith Lloyd, James, just hit me there for a minute with James. I think about, it's weird how the Lord gives me pauses on different people get attention on different days. And it's like, today, he just stopped me with James. James is a friend of mine, a drug addict. He OD'd. James did everything, as far as I know. As far as we did meth together, He also did opiates as well, which I don't do. And he OD'd. It's easy to do with opiates. Very easy to do. And it's funny, you just don't think You know people can die, but it's like at any time they can just be whisked away. And I remember hearing secondhand through Jimmy Harder. Jimmy Harder told me that he passed away. I also remember a guy whose name I can't remember now. I used to hang out with. I should find out his name, put him on the memorials. He used to hang around us at Starbucks over here. Used to be. You don't see it a lot. When I was out and about today on the ECR, going to get blood work this morning. Down here at the bus stop, the BART station, because it goes through the BART station. You know, I take the bus from over here at Walgreens, and it goes down. When you go down El Camino, it loops down to the BART station, then continues on. And you don't see a lot of homeless people there. That used to be Homeless Central. We all hung out there. You know what I mean? Like that was, you don't see that now. It's like, wow. Between COVID-19 and everything, I just want to say the county of San Mateo, as well as organizations like Abode Services and Life Moves, have done incredible work to help us get into like a place to live and off the street, because you don't see it. It's like they just wipe the streets clean of homeless people. Now, occasionally, I've seen some new homeless people come in, but not a lot. It's very sparse. It's amazing. All the normal places where you used to see tent encampments and stuff around here, not anymore. And it's not because they just, picked up the homeless people and just moved them to a different area, like they do, like some places do during election seasons. These people are in housing now, which is awesome. Dustin Rasmussen, my ex. John Judicki. Anita Rossmeyer. Phil DiMartino. Father Benedict Reed. Winfred Marianne Johnson, my other piano teacher. Win Johnson. Demetrius Fleming Davis. John Gotti. My grandparents on both sides. Jay Darling. Tyler White. It's a gay porn star from Rhode Island, my home state. Young man who died at like 25 years old. Suicide, I believe. Either or overdose. Ron Popeil, the one and only. If you own a Popeil pasta maker, food dehydrator, or rotisserie, what else did he do? He did the Chop-O-Matic. I mean, Ron Popeil's a great. Anyway, I'm not going to go on about Ron Popeil, but Priscilla, which is Jeff Henkel's ex. Not ex because she passed away, not because they're exes, but he took that real hard. Edison from the shelter, from Hospitality House San Bruno, passed away not that long ago, about 6-7 months ago, I heard. Sean Bowman, my uncle, and Bob Dole. Bob Dole. O Lord our God, accept the fervent prayers of your people. Accept them, Lord, please. In the multitude of your mercies, look with compassion upon us and all who turn to you for help. For you are gracious, O lover of souls, and to you we give glory, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, now and forever. Amen. So, I smoked 2 cigarettes on the patch today. And, I think, I'm going to tell you why I think that happens. I think when you're a heavy smoker, at least at times, the level of nicotine you're used to is not supplied by the patch, even the 21 milligram. So you're still kind of coming down. Normally, I would have smoked a lot more cigarettes today than that. So now here's the thing, too. I already started. It's not called the tobacco. I thought, what should I call this? Because it's going to be logged with a patch, and it's going to have any cigarettes I smoked in it, too. I've done this in the past, by the way, this log. But at the time, I called it the cigarette log because I wasn't doing the nicotine patch. Nicotine log. So I had one at 3 p.m. and the other one at 4:56 p.m. And I put the patch on today, much earlier in the day. That's a 24-hour patch. So we're just going to log that. I expect to see my, you know what I mean? I expect to see that go away. Those cigarettes, hopefully. Hopefully. You know, I'm trying to resist the urge to smoke and only smoking when I can't resist having one. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm still trying to, not just, if I feel I need a cigarette, do it. I'm trying to like fight it off and see if I can't, then I do it. So a lot of progress with that. I'm pleased. So I said I went to go get blood work today. That's done. We made breakfast burritos this morning with an unusual day of energy. You know, it's funny because sitting here, if you've seen my other videos, you've seen how I am normally. This feels almost like I still feel tired. Like I couldn't go up and I couldn't clean the whole house right now or anything like that. But I have enough energy to sit here and talk animatedly, and I'm thankful for that. But if every day could even be like this, man, again, I can't wait. I'm so sick of like this COVID-19 shit. It is like I've been bedridden for the past year, basically, with very few days like that I can get up. And honestly, typically the only days generally that I have energy are like when I've relapsed. That's when I've gotten my house cleaning done. Okay? That's how I cooked Thanksgiving dinner. I wouldn't have been able to do it otherwise. It sucks. I'm not high right now. I'm not saying that. And I mean, I'm not. Honestly, I wouldn't tell you, but I wouldn't lie about it either. No, this is just an unusual day of energy. But then again, like I said, it's not energy like where I don't really have a ton of energy to go do anything right now. I just feel energetic kind of sitting here talking, you know? So, and that's cool. That's cool enough. I'll take what I can get. So I went to the dollar store today. I had to get some bar soap. I got that. I already did a video on this earlier. I got 2 books to read. They look like they're going to be pretty good, $1 each. One of them is on the New York Times bestseller list. That's cool. And then I had to stop at Smart & Final to get some Murphy's soap and some Pine Sol and a scrub brush to be able to do the bathtub and the floor and the bathroom. So that's cool. But needed both those things. I got my blood work done. I already mentioned that. I'm feeling very, very grateful. I have a lot of gratitude right now. And I got homemade chicken soup in the refrigerator to have for dinner. And I got vegetables. So I'm going to have some vegetables with it as well. Some additional, because I got to go through those. I got to make sure they don't go bad. Anyway, I want to say thank you for joining me for Prayerless Prayers this evening. And to any of you that have helped me get here, which is a lot of you, from Life Moves to Abode Services to my landlord to Peter Steeler and Hospitality House and all of you at Hospitality House and all those friends of mine that have been there along the way, I want to say thank you very much, especially during a time like this as we move into the holidays, as we're in the holiday season and we move toward Christmas. I'm so grateful to be sitting here and not on the street on a sidewalk. I love you all. I wish you a peaceful night, a blessed Advent, and even though it's early, a Merry Christmas. All right, everybody? Peace.